Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to Hockey Demo Weekend on the channel. What is Hockey Demo Weekend, you might be asking? Well, we're getting ready for the 2009-10 hockey season replay that's going to be starting in July. I'm actually going to move the scoreboard over here just a little bit. Mostly I want to cut down some of the glare I've got from the lights coming in here, and I think that will work. Okay, yeah, we'll stick with that. So what Hockey Demo Weekend is here on the channel is before each replay I go through, I like to do a demo game to walk you guys through what's going to be happening essentially in faster time. So during the demo game, I slow it down and I play through the game very slowly so you guys can see exactly how the game works in case you're curious about getting the game yourself. The only replay I didn't do a demo game before was my 1991 replay, because that was intended to be off the channel before I moved that on channel. So I like to do a demo game before each replay. I did one for my 1972 NFL season replay that I did as an impromptu replay last year. And then I did one earlier. I did one right after Christmas, actually the day after Christmas, for my 1985 baseball season replay. In the case of my 2009-10 hockey season replay, I'm going to be using both Stratomatic hockey and the subject of today's demo game, Inside the Crease hockey. As such, we're going to have demo games for both of them. So that's what we're doing here. You might also be wondering about the scoreboard, because you see that we're coming into this one 2-1 at the start of the second period. Normally during a replay, I will be playing these games at the start of the third period with Inside the Crease. Strat I'll play all the way through because that game actually plays fast enough where I'll be able to actually go through an entire game of that. But here we'll be starting from the second period, and what I'm going to do during the demo game is the second period is going to be kind of the demo period, where we play everything through at the slower, sedate pace, and I explain everything as I go. And the third period, we're going to play everything at replay tempo, essentially, where we'll go through the game. We'll play through the game at replay tempo, so what you'll see during the replay. But I will try to answer questions as best I can while I'm going through this replay. Normally when I play a hockey game, especially during the aforementioned replay, I'm generally going to not be stopping until I get to a whistle. Similar to how I only check chat during the innings. I don't have anything like a digital diamond with hockey, though, that I am worried about. So, as you can also see, we've got a player in the penalty box for the Blackhawks, as the Flyers will be starting with the power play. Now, to explain the colored pawns you see already, we've got the black pawn that represents the puck. The pink block up here represents the current time, and the green block represents how long is left on a penalty. So in this case, we are starting off with, I had notes on it here, I thought. Yeah, here it is. Brent Sopel for the Blackhawks is in the penalty box for tripping. He went in right near the end of the second period. So the Flyers have 1:20 left on their power play, which is what that block is representing. So, like I said, I'll try to answer questions as best I can here, but I think we are ready to get into this game. As you might recall from hockey, that the start of the period always starts with a face-off. So we'll go to the center, who in this case, for the Flyers, we got both line ones out. In this case, the center for the Flyers is Jeff Carter. He's got a face-off of a 9. Against the Blackhawks, they'll go to Patrick Sharp with a face-off of a 6. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 cards from the deck. We're going to flip one over. So you're forming a card that looks like this. I've got my cards sleeved. That way I can shuffle them a lot easier. So what we're doing for the face-off is first we're going to the FO section for face-off. And what we see here is we have a +7 LD, V. What that means is we'll add 7 to the player with the lower face-off score, and whoever has the higher face-off after that modifier wins the face-off. The start of the face-off, Carter actually had a 3-point advantage over Sharp, who's taking the face-off. But because of the +7 here, we add that to Sharp, he becomes a 13, which means Sharp will win the face-off, and that'll come over to the left defenseman. That is Duncan Keith in this case. So what we'll do now is we'll tick down time. I do it first. That way I remember to do it. So now we'll go to our next two cards, and we'll flip this over to form a card with the top of the deck. So the first thing we do is we go to the pass to section on the card. In this case, the pass is to the left defenseman, but because Keith is the left defenseman, he already has the puck. We go to the second position, and it's an LW. So that means the pass theoretically goes up to Sharp. But before we see if that happens, we come down here and we see takeaway if RW take greater than or equal to 4. The easiest way to think about inside the crease hockey is like it's a series of if-then statements. So what you do is you essentially take the if part. That's the way I do it. Is I take the if part, move that to the front, and I essentially say if the right wing takeaway is greater than or equal to 4, then it's a takeaway. So to find that, we go to the right wing. In this case, it's Ian LaPerriere. We go to his take, and we see that it's actually a 2. So in this case, the takeaway doesn't happen. So if we come back to our if statement, we're looking at it from a case of if the right wing takeaway is greater than or equal to 4, then he takes the puck away. If not, we move up here, and we see a number 22. So what that means is we go to Patrick Sharp's card, and because the Blackhawks are on the penalty kill, we actually go to the shorthanded column, and we drop down to a 22. And when we find a 22 in the shorthanded column, we move over, and we see there's an AST. So what that means is he's made a great pass. He's setting somebody up with a great shot. So to find out who he's setting up, he will pass that over to the right wing. So that'll go over to Patrick Kane. And I've got to double check. I want to double check this because I don't know if an assist takes the pass to play or the shot play. I've always said that it takes the pass to play, but I'm not sure about that. So let me do assist pass. Read pass to, okay. And the number. Okay, so I do have that. So I do have that straight. In this case, that is going over to Kane, and he's getting that with a 36. So if we go to Kane's card, now we're going to the assist column, the AST column. We drop down to a 36, and we see that's a shot 1. So what that means is now we're coming over to the goalie card. In this case, for the Flyers, it's Michael Layton, and we'll be checking the number 36 on that. So in a shot 1, 36. We find that in this row, and we move over to the column. We move over to our result column, and we see an R. What that means is we've got a rebound chance. So now we're flipping over another set of cards. This time we go to the defensive center. In this case, the defensive center is actually Jeff Carter, so he will take the puck. So he's actually going to take the puck. Then we'll tick down time, so now we're at 19:20 left in the period, and now we flip over for the cards again. So now we're trying to pass to the center or the right defenseman. In this case, Carter's already got the puck, so we go to the right defenseman. That is Matt Carl. And we come down to our statement here. We're looking at a forced dump in if center defense is greater than or equal to 1. In this case, there is no center, so we go to a number 18 on Carl's card. But in this case, because the Flyers are on the power play, we go to the PP column for power play. We drop down and we see an 18 is in the pass column. So now we'll take this card, flip it over, and we see that the pass is going to the right wing. So that's going back up to LaPerriere. We'll tick down time once again, and now LaPerriere is skating around with the puck. And I'm probably butchering pronunciation of that. So now we're passing over to the center. So that's going back to Carter. And we come down to the C column. We come down to the next row, and we see loose puck if C hit greater than or equal to 8. Once again, we have no center for the Blackhawks. So we go to a number 12. On Carter, we see on the power play, a 12 on the power play is a shot 5. That is a huge problem against Niemi. So now we'll flip this card over, and we go to the shot result. That's a 57. So we come to Niemi, we come to anti-Niemi on a 57 on a shot 5, and we see on a shot 5, we move over to the row result, and we see R with, in parentheses, C equals G. What that means is it's a rebound unless the goalie has gone cold, in which case that's a goal. The way a goalie would go cold is on a very low result on any shot column. So a G, that would be a G plus C. There's similar, you can see similar for G, H equals R, which means that would be a goal, but if the goalie's hot, it's a rebound. So now we're going to the rebound chance here, and we're flipping over. Okay, I'm thinking about how we do this. Actually, that's a center 8. So actually we flip over another card. That's actually, yeah, we flip over another card for the, hold on. Wait. Oh, I see what happened here. Looks like I got some of these mixed up. Oh, no, I didn't. So we actually... Okay, so it was a 12, which is a shot 5. So we actually flip over this card instead. So we go to a number 18, and we see an 18 on a shot 5 is a G, which means Carter has scored a goal, and he's tied this game for the Flyers. So where's my score? Here we go. 2. That is Carter, which means now we'll adjust the scoreboard, and the Flyers have tied the score at 2. And the penalty is over for the Blackhawks. So now we'll flip over 2 cards and get the assist. We'll make 2 cards coming to the assist. Right wing, we see assist RW. So that means the right wing will pick up an assist. In this case, that'll be 𝐿aPerriere. And flipping over a second card, we see that the left wing also gets an assist. So actually, we're going to take Carl as an assist on that as well, since he actually served up the pass. And that's a goal at 1 minute of the second period. So now, once I find... Oh, here we go. Normally I prepare these score sheets ahead of time. So we came in, and the Flyers now have a goal on the board. So now the green block can leave, since we no longer need that now. So now we're at an even face-off for the black. So now we're at an even face-off as we get set for a new sequence of play at center ice. Flipping this over, face-off shows us RWV. So in this case, the 2 players are tied. So if there's a tie, that means that goes over to the visiting right wing. In this case, it's 𝐿aPerriere. We tick down time once again, and we come to our next 2 cards. Passing over to the left wing. So that's 𝐿aPerriere getting the pass there. Loose puck if the right defenseman's hit is greater than or equal to 7. Coming over to 𝐿aPerriere, we see his hit is only a 5. So that means that case is not going to happen. So we go to the else part, going up to the number for 𝐿aPerriere. In this case is a 34. Now that we're at even strength, we come down to 34, and we see a pass. So that means 𝐿aPerriere is making a pass. He'll be making the pass in this case over to the right defenseman. So that's over to Carl. We'll tick down to 18:20 remaining in the second period of this game. And we'll see a pass right back up to the left wing, right back to 𝐿aPerriere. The result here is a takeaway if the right wing take is greater than or equal to 5. Checking Kane's takeaway, since he's the right wing, we see that it's a 4, so there's no takeaway on the play. An 11 for 𝐿aPerriere. As we move over to the even strength column for 𝐿aPerriere, we see that an 11 is a shot 2 against Niemi. So we will flip over another card. In this case, we'll come down to the shots column. That's a 55. So that was a shot 2. Yep, a shot 1 against Niemi. So a shot 1 on a 55 is going to be held. So just like it sounds, Niemi gets a glove on it, and then he smothers it, holding the play for the faceoff. So he probably made a tolerable. A shot 1 probably would be more likely a bouncing puck. So he decided not to take any chances with it. So he will freeze that one for the faceoff, and we will be taking a faceoff to the left of Niemi. I usually toss in left or right of the goalie for the narrative details. Coming to our new faceoff, we see faceoff this time is RD with H in parentheses. So in this case, that's to the right defenseman. If they're tied, the home right defenseman gets it. In this case, 𝐸𝐸𝐵𝐿 gets that. And then we'll tick down time, and it might be a little bit hard to see. Let me zoom in on this just a touch. But this whole column is all in gray. What that signifies is that's when you do a line change. So we will zoom back out, and we'll do line changes. I'll do line changes for everybody except for the puck carrier. In this case, that's 𝐸𝐸𝐵𝐿. His line change will come once he makes a move with the puck. Hopefully you guys are enjoying a little bit of demo hockey here on the channel as I'm getting ready for my 2009-10 hockey season replay. So now we come back to the card, and we flip over to find that it's a pass over to Campbell, and now 𝐸𝐸𝐵𝐿 will get off the ice. So we're looking at center and left wing defense in this case. If it's greater than or equal to 10, then it's an interception. The center and the left wing defense. So in this case, we're looking at Mike Richards and Scott Hartnell. Their defense is only a 5 total, which means there's no interception, and a 3, and the number 3 on the card means moving over to Campbell's card, we see a 3 is a shot 2 against Michael Leighton. So we will flip this over and see that we've got a 15 on a shot 3. So on a shot 3 on Leighton's card, we see a 15 is an R result, so that's a rebound chance. Which means we make another card. The home left defenseman is going to get that, so Campbell's going to get his own rebound. He's going to get it with a 38. And a 38 at even strength is going to be an assist chance. So an assist chance, now we flip it over, and we see that he's made a great pass up to Brouwer, and a 14. On a 14 is going to be in a shot 5 against Leighton. This could be very bad news. He got into the slot. Leighton made an initial save, but he's left a juicy rebound. And a 66 on a shot 5. Leighton makes a huge save on that one, and he'll smother that one for a face-off. So the Blackhawks get a great sequence to the left of Leighton, but Leighton manages to smother the puck, and we get a face-off out of that. Checking our face-offs now, we've got Boland and Richards, who are even at 9 once again. We'll flip the card over, and we'll get a face-off result, +1 to the right defenseman, home. But since both players have a 9, and the H, so it's tied, which means Hjalmarsson will get the puck, and he'll win the face-off. And so the Blackhawks win the face-off. We'll tick down time, and we'll flip over a new card. Passing that up to the right defenseman or the center. In this case, Hjalmarsson is the right defenseman, so Boland will get the puck. Loose puck if the left defenseman's hit is greater than or equal to 3. So we'll check Kimmo Timonen for the Flyers. His hit is equal to a 3, which means because it's a hit, we have a loose puck situation. So what we do with that is we flip over a new card, and we come to the loose puck situation. So we're checking offensive right wing versus defensive left defenseman +2. So what we're doing is we're looking at the LP ratings for both players. In this case, Marian Hossa is the offensive right wing. He's got a 6 on that, on a loose puck, versus the defensive left defenseman, that's Timonen. He's even at a 6, but he gets a +2 because of the loose puck result, so he will take that puck after the hit. Then we'll tick off time, and we'll get another result on the play. So we'll flip the top card over. Pass is going up to the right wing. So in this case, that is Aaron Asham getting the pass for the Flyers. And then it's an interception if the left wing and lefty defense is greater than or equal to 11. Checking the defense for the left wing and the left defenseman, we see that the defense is only a 6, so there's no interception, which means Asham's getting that. So remember the if statement. If the left wing and lefty defense was greater than or equal to 11, it would be an interception. Else 38 for Asham. So a 38 for Asham at even strength is going to be an assist chance. So now he's making a great pass to somebody here. His great pass is going to the center, so that's over to Richards on a 19. And a 19 is going to be a shot 4, so that's a problem for Niemi, which means we will flip over a card on a shot 4. That's a 91. 91 on a shot 4 is going to be a drop, so that he'll drop that off. Actually, let me double check that. I believe that means he will drop that off for somebody. Let's see. This is another good purpose of the demo game. It lets me check. It lets me make sure I've got my rules straight before we go into the replay. And this has got the okay. So I think we just flip over a new card now that we've confirmed that it's a drop. So we'll flip this over, and we see that he's going to drop that off for the left defenseman. In this case, Campbell will get the drop off. 17 minutes to play in the period. Pass is going to the center. In this case, that's Boland. Interception if the lefty and righty defense is greater than or equal to 12. Timonen and Coburn are only an 8, so there's no interception there. So Boland is getting that with a 1 at even strength. That will be a shot 4 against Layton. So a shot 4 going over to Layton. Shot 4 with a 3, that's a problem, because we see on a shot 4 with a 3, we see a G plus C. So what that means is Boland has actually scored to give the Blackhawks the lead. Which means we put a blue pawn in front of Layton to indicate that he's gone cold. And the Blackhawks now have a 3-2 lead. Chelsea Dagger plays, or whatever the goal song for the Blackhawks plays, and fans are happy. So I can take Campbell. Actually, we'll take our 2 assists from Niemi and Campbell. So Campbell will get the first assist. And Niemi. That is at 3 minutes of the second period. And the reason I do that is if I can directly trace the sequence of play in terms of, okay, this player touched the puck last, and then the goal resulted. If I can trace the play like that, then I'll take the assists directly from that. If not, you can also flip cards up to get the assist on the play. That's just the way I do it as a house rule when I'm playing my inside the crease games. It's the same thing I do when I'm playing Strat. If I can trace the play result directly from one player touching the puck to goal, then I'll take the assists from that. So now everybody moves back to center ice, and we've got a fresh face-off. And the face-off in this case is +5 right wing going to the visitor. So in this case, because they're both tied, that'll be Asham winning the face-off for the Flyers. Now we'll flip and make a new card. Passing it over to the right defenseman. That's over to Coburn. Loose puck if the left defenseman's hit is greater than or equal to 4. Checking Campbell, his hit is only a 2. So that means Coburn's getting that at even strength with a 9. So, and I just sent my cards flying. The one peril of sleeving these cards, but it makes shuffling way too easy. So a 9 at even strength is going to be a shot 0 against Niemi. So a shot 0, a 41 on a shot 0. A 41, ooh, that's a rebound chance. If 𝐈𝐸 had been cold, that would have been a goal, and this game would have been tied. So now we're making a new card. And the rebound is the home left defenseman. So Timonen has got that with a 29 at even strength. He'll make a pass on that one. And he'll pass that over to the right defenseman. So that'll go over to Coburn. Then we'll tick off time, 16:20 to play. Pass is going over to Hartnell. Force dump in if the right wing's defense is greater than or equal to 2. Hosa's defense, we'll come over and see that Hosa's defense is a 3, so that will be a forced dump in, which means we will flip over the next card, and we'll see on a dump in, 𝐈𝐸 saw a bouncing puck. He decided not to take any chances with it. He will smother that and get the face-off. So we are at 16:20 to play in the second period. Blackhawks now with a 3-2 lead after they trade goals. And Carter's goal, once I find my pen, Carter's goal was on the power play. I'm going to take a quick drink before we continue. Hopefully this is all making a bit of sense for you guys. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat or the comment section down below if you're watching this later. I'll try to get back to you as fast as I can with those. Now flipping over for a new face-off, we see the visiting, we see actually on the face-off we see KO Viz. So that means the visiting center, in this case Richards, gets kicked out of the face-off circle. So now Hartnell, as the next player down, is going to step in and take the face-off. And we'll flip that over. We see a CH. So Boland, in this case, has got the higher face-off result, so he will have that puck. Except we're now at 16 minutes to play, so it's time for another round of line changes. And when we get to the demo game for Stratomatic Hockey, hopefully later tonight, but tomorrow for sure, I'm going to be playing around with a new layout on those. There we are, and we've advanced time, so now we go to our next play. The next play here is a pass to the center or the right wing. In this case, Bufflin is getting that. Loose puck if the right D hit is greater than or equal to 6. Checking on Oscar's Bartulis, we see his hit is only a 3, if we can zoom in on that. So there will be no hit there, which means Bufflin is getting that with a 6. A 6 at even strength for Bufflin is a shot 2 against Layton. Layton has gone cold on us, so now we'll flip over a card on a shot 3. We'll see a 29. And a shot 3 on Layton. Actually, a shot... What was the shot? 29... Okay, so... Actually, that was a 6, which is a shot 2 on Layton. So a 29 on a shot 2. That's going to be a rebound chance. So now we flip over a new card to see what happens on the rebound. Rebound is the offensive left defenseman. Sopel with it. And he gets that with a 22 at even strength. Sopel with a 22, he's going to make a pass on that one. And the pass here is going over to the right wing, right back to Bufflin. Ticking off time once again. Bufflin now with the puck as the Blackhawks are getting some sustained pressure. Passes to the left defenseman. That goes right back to Sopel. Forced dump in if the right wing defense is greater than or equal to 7. La Liberty is a 1, so there's no dump in there. A 28 at even strength is going to be a pass as we come up to Sopel's card. We see 28 falls in the range there, so that's going to be a pass, which means that pass is going to... It's going over to the right defenseman. That's over to Barker. Ticking down time, and we'll get a new play going. Pass is going to the left defenseman. So that's over to Sopel. Interception if the center and right wing defense is greater than or equal to 5. Checking on Giroux and La Liberty, we see that their defense is only a 4, so there's no interception on the play. which means Sopel's getting that with a 16. So Sopel, as we see, at a 16, he'll be making another pass, and he will pass that over. He'll pass that right back to Byfuglien. 15 minutes to play in the period. Pass is going over to Barker. Forced dump in if the left wing defense is greater than or equal to 4. Van Riemsdyk for the Flyers is the left wing. His defense is a 2. So that means there's no forced dump in, which means Barker's got that with a 35. And a 35 on Barker's card at even strength is going to be another pass. So the Blackhawks are basically playing hot potato with the puck at this point, keeping it away from the Flyers. That pass is going right back to Sopel. 14:40 to play in the second period as we tick down time. Pass is going up to Madden, and we're checking the left and right defense. The interception, if their defense is greater than or equal to 6. Checking Lucas Krajicek and Bartolus, we see that their defense is a 6, so somebody is going to make the interception for the Flyers. We'll flip over a card and consult the pass 2 to see who's making that interception. That is the right wing. That is La Liberty making that interception for the Flyers. So they're finally going to get out of the zone, ticking down time, which I've done already. Pass is going over to Giroux in this case. Interception if the left wing and lefty defense is greater than or equal to 8. Checking on Ladd and Sopel in this case, we see that their defense is only a 6. So no interception there, which means Giroux's getting that with a 27. He's going to make a 27 at even strength is going to be a pass, which means he's going to be making a pass on probably a couple of zone pass, and he'll pass that over to Bartolus. We'll tick off time, and we've got another round of line changes. So bear with me while I do line changes. And admittedly, having these business card holders here makes the line changes actually fairly quick. Like I said, I'm going to be playing around with a different layout for Stratomatic Hockey. I want to find the best layout I can get my hands on before that replay starts. But I'm not going to spoil what that is. You may be able to go back through through some product unboxings and find what I'm going to be doing there. The pass this time is going to the left wing. So in this case, that's Carcillo getting that pass. Checking the right D's hit. If it's greater than or equal to 8, we've got a loose puck. Seabrook's hit is a 5, not high enough to loosen the puck up. A 29 for Carcillo is going to turn into the Flyers' turn to start playing hot potato with the puck. So the pass for the Flyers is going up to Danny Briere. So Briere with the puck, ticking down time, 13:40 to go. Passing it over to the right wing, that's Nodal. Forced dump in if the center's defense is greater than or equal to 7. Kopecky, actually it's probably Kopeshi. I don't know the pronunciation of this. I'm butchering it most likely. His defense is a 2, so there's no forced dump in, which means Nodal is getting that with a 6. So a 6 at even strength. He's going to be making a pass on that one. And in this case, the pass is going over to the left wing since he's already the right wing. So that's Carcillo with it for the Flyers. 13:20 to play in the period. Pass is going over to the center, so that's back to Briere. Interception if the left D and right D defense is greater than or equal to 5. I can already see that it's going to be an interception because Keith by himself is a 6, plus 4 from Seabrook is a 10, so that pass will be intercepted. The only question is by who. The pass 2 will tell us that. Pass 2 is the right wing, so that'll be Versteeg for the Blackhawks picking that one off. 13 minutes to play here in the period. Passing that over to the left defense, that's going over to Keith. Takeaway if the right D take is greater than or equal to 1. Bartulis is a 2, and because it explicitly specifies right D take, I just call it Bartulis takes the puck himself. 12:40 to play here in the second period. Pass is going up to the left wing since Bartulis is already the right defenseman. That's going up to Carcillo. We're checking the forced dump in if the lefty defense is greater than or equal to 6. As we saw earlier, Keith is a 6, so we've got a dump in. So the dump in here is going to be a puck battle. Visiting left wing versus home right defense +1. So the right wing is Carcillo. We see, actually, the left wing is Carcillo. We see his loose puck, his LP is a 5. That's for the loose puck. 𝐕𝐸𝐞 is the home right defenseman. He's a 5 as well, but he gets a +1 because the card says he does. So that's a 6, which means 𝐕𝐸𝐞 wins the puck battle, and now he's got possession of the biscuit. 12:20 to go here in the period. Pass is going up to 𝐈𝐸𝐝. Penalty if the left defenseman penalty is greater than or equal to 5. Penalties are the one thing I've never been able to get clear about in hockey games. I've never liked how any of them, except maybe for Strat, handles them. But fortunately we don't have to worry about that right now, because the section we're consulting on Pronger's card, as he's the left defenseman, is down here. We're looking at the penalty rating. In this case, it's a 3, so there's no penalty. As for 𝐈𝐸𝐝, he's getting that with a 21, which on his card, a 21 at even strength, is going to be a pass. So now we'll see who he's making that pass to. He's making the pass over to Versteeg. Then we tick down time again. 12 minutes to go in the period, but now we've got line changes. Up. Versteeg's the puck carrier. He will make his move and then get off the ice. It is a scorcher up here in southeast Wisconsin today. So you can probably hear, you might be able to hear in the background that I've got both air conditioners running, that I've got the air conditioner running today. Okay, coming back to the play. So we flip this over, and the pass is going to the center since Versteeg already is the center. Penalty if any defender's penalty is greater than or equal to 12. No. We'd have no defenders like that, so we're all clear there. And a 3 on Toews. Uh-oh. 3 is on Toews with the puck. He's going to have a shot 4, and he's already got 1 goal in this game. So that's a shot 4 against Leighton, which means we'll flip this over, and we'll see a 12 on a shot 4 against Leighton. That's a rebound, and he's hot. So this goes away, and now we have a rebound chance coming up for the Blackhawks, for both teams. Rebound is essentially a loose puck situation. Offensive left D versus defensive right wing +1. Offensive left D is Campbell. His loose puck is a 5. LaPerriere, being the defensive right wing, he's a 4. +1 gives him a 5. But because it's a tie, Campbell will actually win that loose puck situation, and he'll get that with a 26. And we'll see a 26 at even strength is a pass, so he's making a pass with that. He'll be passing that back up to Toews, which means we have a new sequence of play coming, 11:40 to play in the period. Toews is moving that over to Hjalmarsson. Takeaway if the right D takeaway is greater than or equal to 3. Carl's take, as it's once again explicitly stated, is a 3, so he will take that puck away. 11:20 to play here in the period. Passing up to the right wing, so LaPerriere. Forced dump in if the left wing's defense is greater than or equal to 5. Looking at Sharp, his defense is only a 3, which that's going to be a big problem because LaPerriere is getting that with a 1. And a 1 is actually going to be, as we go to LaPerriere's card, at even strength, that's going to be a shot 3 against Niemi. So we'll flip this over looking at a shot 3 on a number 4. Shot 3, ooh! Niemi makes a huge save on that one, and he's hot. So now going to the rebound, home right defenseman, which means 𝐕𝐲𝐿 stops the action. Well, not stops the action, but he stops the Flyers' attack. So now we're flipping over a new card. Pass is going up to Kane. Interception if the left wing and lefty defense is greater than or equal to 12. Checking on 𝐈𝐸 and Timonen, we see that their defense, looking at def, is only a 7. So that means Kane will actually get to do the else part of the case statement. So on a 19 at even strength, 19 is going to be a shot 1. So it's not going to be a great shot against Leighton, most likely. Shot 1 is a 92 with a break. Nope, I'm not going to worry about that. Well, actually, let me double check how breakaways work. It's an auto shot 5. If the number has break after it, auto goal, but only on breakaways. All right, let me check. I'm just going to look at breakaway real quick. Oh, makes a giveaway. Okay, so it's just a 92 on the shot 1 against Leighton. So that's going to get dropped off. So Leighton's going to drop that one off. He's going to drop that one off. Oop, hang on. I think I've got some of these other cards flipped in the wrong direction. I do. So I'm just going to give these a quick shuffle on camera, just so you guys know I'm not up to any funny business here. Okay. Actually, those need to go that way. So now Leighton's dropping that puck off for the right defenseman. That's going to be Carl getting that dropped off. 10:40 to play in the period. Passing up to Carter, but it's a takeaway if the right D take is greater than or equal to 6. 𝐕𝐿 is only a 3, so there's no takeaway there. And a 38 coming over to Carter's card. 38 is give, so he's going to give the puck away. We'll flip over a new card and consult the pass to position section for who he's giving that away to. He's giving that away to the left wing. That's Sharp. 10:20 to play in the period. Flipping over a new card. Pass is going to 𝐕𝐿. Interception if the center and left wing's defense is greater than or equal to 11. Carter and 𝐈𝐸 are a 6, so nothing happening there. A 33 for 𝐕𝐿. He's going to make a pass on that. And the pass is going over to Campbell, as 𝐕𝐿's already the right defenseman. Taking down to 10 minutes to play, and we've got another set of line changes coming up. Once again, I'm not changing Campbell until he makes a move with the puck. Just keeping an eye on the clock here. Next up, with 10 minutes to play in the period, that pass is going up to Brouwer, and now Campbell will get off the ice. Oop, come on. Cards are falling on me here. There we go. Okay, where were we? Oh, yes. Interception if the right wing and right D defense is greater than or equal to 11. Asham and Coburn are a 6, so that's not happening. 32 for Brouwer. 32 is going to be a pass. So now I'll flip over a new card, and we'll see that the pass is going, pass is going over to the right defenseman. That's over to Barker. 9:40 to play in the period. We'll see the center. This pass is going up to Boland. And now we've got penalty if lefty defense is greater than or equal to 2. We see that Krajicek is a 3, so there will be a penalty on the play. But we check the play anyway, so we see an 8. We see an 8 is a shot 1. So since there is a penalty, there's a delayed call on the ice, but we will resolve the shot anyway. So the shot 1 against Leighton is going to be a 39. Shot 1 is going to be a rebound. Chance. If he'd been cold, that would have been a goal. So we'll resolve the rebound situation out. Rebound is the visiting left wing, which means Hartnell will touch that up, and we'll get a penalty here on. We'll get a penalty on 𝐻𝐸𝐿. We'll flip over, and this is the part that I've never liked about how penalties work in this game. I've never liked how most of these games do penalties. So we come down here to a 13. And we see on here, and the way you want to check these is they go major, then minor, then misconduct. So if the number on the penalty is less than the major penalty, then is less than or equal to the major penalty, then you have a major penalty. If it's less than that, but greater than that, if it's less than the minor, but if it's less than the minor but still greater than the major, then you have a minor penalty. If there was a number for a misconduct here, you'd have a third check on that. So now that we've confirmed that, we'll come over to this card, and we'll see that the penalty is for goaltender interference. And that penalty is at 10:20 of the second period. So now that's where the green block comes back into play. We saw the Flyers tie the game on the power play earlier in the game. Can the Blackhawks now extend their lead? And I'm actually going to get a... I actually do need my second deck pretty soon, so I've got that in shot, ready to go. Oop. Let's see, which means we'll change the defensive lines out for the Flyers. And they will go without their center for this sequence. So now we're getting ready to flip over a new set of cards, as we've got the face-off here. Face-off is +1C. So Hartnell would be taking the face-off. He'd get a +1, be a 6, but that's still not enough to come over top of Boland's 9. So that means Boland will have the puck to start the power play. So we'll tick time off there. Pass is going over to the right defenseman, Barker. Loose puck if the center's hit is greater than or equal to 1. There is no center right now. Barker is getting that with a 5 on the power play. That will be a shot 3 on the power play as we're checking the PP column. We find 5. That's a shot 3 against Leighton. So Leighton with a shot 3 that he's looking at. A 21. 21 on a shot 3 is going to be an R for a rebound chance. So a rebound chance here is the home left wing. That's Brouwer getting that. With an 11 on the power play, that'll be a shot 5 for Brouwer. That could be a bit more problematic for Leighton. A shot 5 here is going to be a 52. And a shot 5, we see a G, H equals R. Leighton wasn't hot, so that actually goes in on the power play, and Brouwer scores to extend the Blackhawks' lead. Oop, and I missed one of my goals here. I think that was a... No, that was a penalty. So now the Blackhawks have extended their lead to 4-2. That was Brouwer with a power play goal, and we had that from Boland, who won the face-off. And we'll flip over another card to get an assist out of it. And the assist we're getting here is the right wing, so Hossa. And that goal came at, what is that, 10:40 of the second period. On an unrelated note, penalty over. And that defensive pairing's out for the Flyers. So that block goes away. Once again, arena cheers. Yay! And everybody's back at center ice for the opening for the face-off of the new sequence. Face-off is +5 left wing, home. So what that means here is because the two players are tied, Boland will actually win the face-off because there's an H there. And now I need my other deck in shot. We'll get this one out of the way so I can make sure I shuffle that as we get. So I'll make sure we give that a shuffle before the third period, and I move to replay tempo, as hopefully this is making sense to all of you. Flipping over as Brouwer has the puck, we also need to tick time down. Passing over to the left defenseman as Brouwer's already the left wing, so that's Sopel with it. Takeaway if the right wing's take is greater than or equal to 2. Asham, as we come over to his card, we see Asham is a 3, so he will take that puck away as it's been explicitly specified. Ticking down time once again. Next card here. Pass is going over to Pronger. Interception if the center and right wing's defense is greater than or equal to 10. Boland and Hossa are a 6, so no interception. Pronger will get that with a 9. Now that we're back to even strength, 9 is going to be a shot 0 against Niemi. So we'll flip over another card and get a shot result. Shot is a 42 on a shot 0. 42, Niemi must have saw a bouncing puck or something. He's going to stop that one and get a face-off. We'll take a face-off to the left of Niemi. Once again, we're even to start the face-off. +8 to the right defenseman, and H. So that's to the home right defenseman. That face-off's going over to Barker, and we're ticking off time. And our next play is passing up to the right wing, in this case Hossa. Loose puck if the lefty's hit is greater than or equal to 1. Pronger is a 3, so that puck just got jarred loose. And the puck happening in the loose puck here is the offensive right defenseman +1 versus defensive left wing. Barker is a 3 + 1 is 4. Hartnell is a 5, though, so he will take that puck. So Hartnell gets the puck. We tick down time, and now we've got another set of line changes to come. Once again, I will change Hartnell last. And flipping over our next play, that's a pass over to the right defenseman. So that's going over to Coburn. The defensive stop here is a takeaway if the left wing take is greater than or equal to 8. Ladd is a 3, so there's no takeaway. And a 27 for Coburn. 27 is going to be a pass, so he'll make that pass over. That pass will go up to Giroux. 7:40 to play in the period. Next play coming up is the pass going over to Timonen. Forced dump in if the right D's defense is greater than or equal to 1. Seabrook is a 4, so there's a forced dump in, which brings us down to the dump in section of the card. Puck battle, offensive left wing +1 versus defensive right D. Hartnell and Seabrook are tied with 5s, but because Hartnell gets a +1, he gets to keep the puck. Hartnell keeps the puck. We will tick down time. Pass is going over to the left defenseman, going over to Timonen. Takeaway if the right wing take is greater than or equal to 8. Bufflin's only a 3, so there's no takeaway there. A 32, bringing us over to Timonen's card. 32, he's going to make a pass as the Flyers are starting to play a little bit of hot potato with the puck. And that pass is going up to La Liberté. Ticking down time as Larry Mullins, 111, now joins us here at the United Center. I'll address your question when we get to the next stoppage of play, Larry. I do see it, but I don't want to break my rhythm here. As we've got the next play coming over, the pass is going over to Hartnell. If I can ever keep a hold of the black pawn. There we go. Forced dump in if the right wing defense is greater than or equal to 5. Bufflin's only a 3, So a 10 on Hartnell's card. As we come over to even strength, that's going to be a shot 1 against Niemi. So we'll get another result on a shot 1. A 47. And a 47. Niemi is going to stop that one and hold on for a face-off. And now we'll address the question if Inside the Crease is my favorite cards and dice hockey game, and if so, why? I would say, as far as my favorites, if I had to rank them right now, I would probably say, if we go from 3 to 1, I think I would say Stone Cold Hockey, only because I haven't done very much with it yet, but I like what I see. Then I'd probably go... Then it's probably, honestly, a 1 and 1A between Stratomatic and Inside the Crease Hockey, because they're doing a lot of very similar things with the fast action cards. I do like the detail that Inside the Crease offers, which is why I wanted to use it. Strat is kind of my fast playing, full play game, if that makes sense. So I do like the two of them, but I think it's more of a 1 and 1A. I definitely wanted to use Inside the Crease for my season replays, but I knew I couldn't do it from first period to the end of the game. So that's why during the replay, I'm always going to feature. We're always going to pick up the replay games. We're always going to pick up Inside the Crease during the replay in the third period. That's what I'm trying to say in that whole stupid word salad that I was trying to get across. But hopefully I got all of that across. Whereas Strat plays a lot faster. So hopefully, Larry, you're enjoying today's first demo game. I'm hoping we'll have the Strat demo game a little bit later tonight. If not, it'll be tomorrow for sure. But let's get another face-off as we're looking at a +2 advantage for Madden. Strat Hockey is a good game. You'll hear no arguments from me on that. And in fact, you're preaching to the choir on that one. Our face-off, we see a KO Viz. So that means the visiting face-off taker is kicked out. So Giroux gets kicked out, which means Hartnell will take the face-off now. He's got a face-off rating of 5. And that'll be the center, so Madden will actually win the face-off. The V, the parenthesis V only applies if the two face-off takers are tied. In this case, they were not. Madden's got it, and will tick down time. Passing that over to the right defenseman, that's going over to Seabrook. Loose puck, if the left defenseman's hit is greater than or equal to 6. Timonen is a 3, so there's no hit there, which means Seabrook gets that with a 39 at even strength. Ooh, that's an AST, so he's making a great pass. Let's see who he's setting up with that one. He's setting up Ladd with a 13. A 13 on the assist chance. A 13 is a shot 4. That could be trouble for Leighton. Let's see what happens on a shot 4. Coming down to shots, we see a 63 and a 63. Ladd got a great look, but Leighton gets that one. He will stop it and smother it for the face-off. So a great save as the arena groans. Ugh. I will take a quick drink of my Crystal Light while the teams get situated to the right of Leighton for a face-off. Okay. So now we're going down to the face-off once again. Face-off is going to the center. In this case, Madden wins the face-off. We're ticking down time, and we're off with a new play. Pass is going to the left defenseman. That's going to Keith. Loose puck, if the center's hit is greater than or equal to 6. Giroux is a 3 in the hit department. So Keith is getting that with a 29. 29, Keith is making a pass. He will pass that over to the left wing. That'll go up to Ladd. 6 minutes to go, and we've got line changes coming. Okay, now getting our next play here. As Ladd has got the puck, he's waiting for something to do with it. He's going to pass that over to 𝐿𝐸. Penalty, if any defender penalty is greater than or equal to 20. This is the part that's always confused me. So let me take a quick look at that. I don't know if there's detail in here for that. Let's see. Looking at the penalty section. No. There's nothing in here that explains that, of course. Or for the second edition of the rules. There's nothing that explains that there, so it doesn't look like anything happens there. A 25 for 𝐿𝐸, as we're at even strength. He's going to make a pass on that one, which means we'll flip a new card over, and we'll find that he's making that pass up to Ladd. Oh, Ladd should have gotten off the ice. Actually, is Ladd third? Yeah, so we're on fourth lines. Okay, looks like I missed my line change. 5:40 to go in the period. Pass is going over to 𝐿𝐸. Take away if the lefty's take is greater than or equal to 3. 𝐿𝐸 is a 2. So 𝐿𝐸's getting that with a 4. That'll be a shot 0 against Leighton. A shot 0 is going to be a 17. So that's a rebound chance. Rebound chance is the offensive right defenseman. That's 𝐿𝐸 versus defensive left wing +3 Van Riemsdyk. With the +3, Van Riemsdyk gets the puck for the Flyers. Taking off time, and we'll set up for a new play. New play here is passing over to the right wing, since Riemsdyk already is the left wing. That's what happens when you see the left wing up here and a RW in parentheses. That's a secondary move. Take away if the righty's take is greater than or equal to 4. 𝐿𝐸 is a 3, so Nodal is getting that with a 19 at even strength. That'll be a pass, and that'll be getting passed over. That'll be getting passed to the right defenseman, Bartulis. 5 minutes to play in the period. And we're passing that up to Van Riemsdyk. Take away if the right wing's take is greater than or equal to 1. Versteeg is a 5. So he will take that puck away. He'll take the puck away from Van Riemsdyk. And then we'll tick off time. 4:40 to play in the period. Passing over to the right defenseman, that's 𝐿𝐸. Take away if the lefty's take is greater than or equal to 1. Krajicek is a 2, so he will take that puck away. 4:20 to play in the period. Passing up to the right wing, that's going up to Nodal. Penalty, if the lefty's penalty is greater than or equal to 7. Campbell is a 1. So a 40 for Nodal. That's an assist chance, so he's setting somebody up with a great pass. He's setting up Bartulis with a 23, and a 23 on an assist chance. That is a shot 0. So that'll be... So he's making his shot on Niemi. He got a great pass, but can he take advantage of it? Shot 0 on a 12 for Niemi. That's a rebound. Niemi leaving a potential rebound. That could be a problem. Rebound is over here. That's over to the offensive left defenseman. That's Krajicek. He's getting that with a 13. He'll make a pass on that instead. And that pass will go up to Van Riemsdyk. Then we're ticking down to 4 minutes to play, and we'll make line changes. Van Riemsdyk will get off the ice once he makes his move with the puck. All right, Van Riemsdyk with the puck skating around. Passing that over to Pronger, and he will get off the ice. These cards like to stick on me sometimes. Looks like we should be on first lines. There we are. Okay, coming back to our play. We've got a forced dump in if the right wing defense is greater than or equal to 8. Kane's defense is a 2, so no dump in. Pronger with a 12 will have a shot 0 against Niemi. Shot against Niemi is going to be a 60, and a shot 0 is going to be a save, and Niemi is going to get that one out of play, and that one's going to deflect out of play off of Niemi for the face-off. So that'll bring everybody back to center ice. Hopefully the game's starting to flow a bit better, so that when I go up to full tempo with this one, it'll make more sense. And I'll still stop and answer questions, but again, I'm only going to stop and answer questions during the stoppages of play. I'm not going to break my rhythm. So looking at our face-offs, we're looking at even face-offs here. +7 to the right defenseman, and the home team wins ties. So in this case, Barker gets that as the Blackhawks win the face-off. Moving into our next play, as I already ticked off time, passing back up to Toews. Penalty if the left defenseman's penalty is greater than or equal to 3. Pronger is a 3, so there will be a delayed call. A 13 at even strength is going to be a shot 1 against Leighton. So we'll see what happens on a shot 1. That's a 61 on a shot 1. Leighton makes the save, and that gets touched up for the face-off. But before that, we've got to see what kind of penalty we're looking at for Pronger. Pronger is a 20 plus the opponent if penalty 2 or higher. So we're going to have matching minors on Pronger and Sopel. What are they going off for? They're going off for tripping. I'm just going to make some notes here. And that is at 16:20 of the second period. So we're going to get changes on both defensive pairings and go without centers. As the face-off's going to move back out to neutral ice. We will have Sharp take this one against 𝐈𝐸𝐲. Flipping over the next card, we see the face-off is going to the right defenseman. So in this case, that's Seabrook, since Sharp had the higher face-off rating. Taking off time, I'm actually going to throw my green block in there, indicating that we're 4-on-4 until near the end of the period. Flipping over our card, pass is going up to Sharp. Interception if the right wing and right D defense is greater than or equal to 9. LaPerriere and Coburn are a 7, so nothing happening there. An 8 for Sharp is going to be a shot 3 against Leighton. Shot 3 on Leighton is going to be a 38, and that's a rebound chance. Rebound is going to be the defensive left wing. 𝐈𝐸𝐲 will pick that one up. Whoop! Jarred the camera, didn't mean to do that. Taking off time, and actually stubbed my toe a little bit on the tripod, but not too bad. Pass is going over to the right wing, LaPerriere, because there is no center. There's no center either, so this if statement doesn't apply. 21 for LaPerriere, he's going to make a pass. That pass is going to the left defenseman. That's over to Timonen. Taking off time once again. And the pass is going up to the right wing since Timonen is already the left defenseman, so LaPerriere. Loose puck if the right wing's hit is greater than or equal to 8. Kane is a 1 in the hit department. A 13 is going to be a pass for LaPerriere. He's going to make that pass over to right back to Coburn. Taking off time. Passing over to the left wing. So that's over to 𝐈𝐸𝐲 since we have no center. Interception if left D and right D defense is greater than or equal to 8. Keith and Seabrook are a 10, so that pass is going to get picked off. We'll see who makes the pick on the pass. That's actually Keith who's going to make that pick off. Just in time for line changes. Keith doesn't come off the ice yet. All right, the 4-on-4 is just about over, though. Let's see what happens on our next play. Pass is going over to Hjalmarsson. Penalty if the lefty penalty is greater than or equal to 1. 𝐿𝐸𝐲 is a 3, so there's a delayed call on the ice. A 40 for Hjalmarsson is going to be an assist chance. Let's see who he sets up with that. He sets up the left wing, so that's Brouwer, on a 30. And a 30 is a shot 4. Shot 4 against Leighton. That's a 46 on a shot 4. We see a 46 is a G, H equals R, except Leighton is not hot. So that means Brouwer scores again, and that will actually cancel the delayed call. So the Blackhawks now opening up a 5-2 lead on Brouwer's second of the day. Let's see, the first assist was coming from Hjalmarsson. Let me make sure I spell this right. Is it 2 S's or 2 R's? 2 S's. And we'll flip over another set of cards to get an assist. The other assist is the right wing, so that'll be Hossa picking up an assist. As the stadium once again goes crazy. And that is at 18 minutes of the second period. As the Blackhawks now have a 5-2 lead. Puck comes back as everybody comes back to center ice for the face-off. We'll get a face-off. That's going over to the right wing as actually Hartnell wins the face-off over to Asham. We'll tick off time. Penalties or matching minors are over, and we are off on our next play. So getting our next play pass going over to Hartnell. Takeaway if the right D's take is greater than or equal to 7. Hjalmarsson's only a 3. A forward even strength is going to be a shot 2 against Niemi for Hartnell. So a shot 2 is a 20, and that's a rebound chance. So our rebound is offensive left defenseman versus defensive right wing plus 3. 𝐿𝐸𝐲's a 2. Even without the plus 3, Hossa's already a 6, so Hossa will end up with that puck. 1:20 to play in the second period. Passing over to Brouwer, who's already got 2 goals. Loose puck if the right wing hit is greater than or equal to 6. Asham is a 5, but there's no hit. 30 for Brouwer. He's going to make a pass, and the pass is going over to Boland. 1 minute to play in the period. 1 minute. Pass is going over to Keith. Forced dump in if the right D's defense is greater than or equal to 5. Bartulis is a 3, so Keith will get that with a 22. He's going to make a pass, and that pass is going right back up to Brouwer. 40 seconds left to play in the period. Passing over to Hjalmarsson. Interception if the right wing and right D's defense is greater than or equal to 7. Asham and Bartulis are a 5, so a 21 for Hjalmarsson. He's going to make a pass. Pass is going to the left wing. This is the last play of the second period coming up. 20 seconds left to play. Passing it over to the right wing, over to Hossa. Takeaway if the lefty's take is greater than or equal to 7. 𝐿𝐸𝐲's a 2. Hossa's getting that with a 16. That'll be a shot 2 against Leighton. An 80 on a shot 2. Leighton's going to make the save and smother that one for the face-off. As we'll have a face-off to the right of Leighton. And our face-off here, we're even face-offs. Plus 4 to the left wing, visitor. So Hartnell will get that one. But then we'll take the time off, and that's my lousy goal horn for the end of the second period. The Blackhawks, after 2, have now opened up a 5-2 lead on the Flyers in this demo game. going to do a little bit of prep work here before the start of the third period. We're at the start of the now in the third period. Let me make sure I've got my lines straight because I think I got them kind of screwed up. Actually, we should be Sharp, Brower, Ladd, Bickle. Okay. In the third period, I'm going to actually go at what I call replay tempo. So what I mean by replay tempo is what you see here is going to be the tempo I'm going to play at during the replay. I'm only going to stop and explain anything. I'll only stop and explain anything new that comes up during the course of the period. For example, if the Flyers somehow manage to cut to within 1, I'll explain how pulling the goalie works. I'll explain how pulling the goalie works in the game. But otherwise, I'm going to take a quick drink here as well. We'll give both halves of the deck a quick shuffle. Also, hot and cold statuses do go away with the start of the period. What you're going to see here is more of the tempo that I'm going to play at during the actual replay. Normally I'm able to get a period done of this in about 40 minutes. Well, usually a little less than an hour anyway. But because I'm playing this a little bit slower, it's taking me. I'm playing this a little bit slower, and B, I'm playing 2 periods instead of my normal 1. So naturally the video is going to take a little bit longer. But I'm just getting both halves of the deck shuffled up, and you guys will see how fast this game actually plays once you start making sense of it. And hockey tends to be hell on my throat too, as you can probably guess. Okay, let me get the other half of the deck shuffled up as well. And then we will be off to start the third period of this game. Okay. Alrighty then. Just gonna follow up with my phone real quick. Make sure nothing urgent is going on today. Okay, looks like we are pretty much all good here. Just going to check one more thing, and then we will be set to get this show on the road. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So now we're into the third period as the Blackhawks have now opened up a 5-2 lead on the Flyers. So, since we're all set, let's get the third period underway. Faceoff is High getting kicked out. Nobody gets kicked out because they're both tied. Left wing home, so Sharp with the puck for the Blackhawks. Ticking off time, passing that over to Toews. Forced dump in if the right D's defense is greater than or equal to 8. Carlisle is a 4. Toews is getting that with a 9. That'll be a shot 2 against Leighton. 42. That's going to be a rebound. Right. Okay, we'll flip that over for the rebound. Visiting left wing. So 𝐈𝐨𝐫 with the puck for the Flyers. 19:20 to play. Passing that over to 𝐷𝐸𝐸𝐴. Force dump in if the right D's defense is greater than or equal to 4. 𝐸𝐵𝐸 is a 4, so that gets dumped in. Puck battle. Offensive right wing is 𝐷𝐸𝐸𝐴 with a 4 versus defensive left D Keith. Even without the +2 he gets, Keith gets the puck. Then the pass going up to Sharp. Force dump in if the right D's defense is greater than or equal to 5. Carl's only a 4. 17 for Sharp is going to be a shot 1 against Leighton. With an 83 on a shot 1, that'll get dropped off, and Leighton will drop that off for... Hang on. Okay, we'll go with that. Pronger, that'll get dropped off for. Some of these cards got turned the wrong way. Ticked off time already. Passing over to Carl. Interception if the center and left wing's defense is greater than or equal to 5. It is a 6, so there is an interception on the play. And it just happened again. That will be Keith making the interception. Passing over to 𝐸𝐵𝐸𝐴. Takeaway if the left wing's take is greater than or equal to 8. 𝐈𝐨𝐫𝐴 is a 4. 𝐸𝐵𝐸𝐴 gets that with a 28. He'll make a pass. And that'll get passed up to Kane. Just in time for our first line change of the period. Kane skating around with the puck. He'll get off the ice as soon as he makes his move with it. Passing that over to Brouwer. Hold on, is Brouwer the second line? Yes, he is. Okay, just double checking that. So that's over to Brouwer. Force dump in if the right D's defense is greater than or equal to 7. Coburn's a 4. 33 for Brouwer at even strength. He's going to make a pass, and that's going to go over to Boland. Boland with it now for the Blackhawks. Passing that over to Hossa. Penalty if the left wing's penalty is greater than or equal to 1. Right, we need to flip it like that. Okay, left wing penalty. Hartnell is a 1 on the penalty. 20 is going to be a shot 1 for Hossa. Leighton is going to be facing a 97. That'll get dropped off, except that'll also be the face-off. Then we'll stop it for the penalty. 32 for Hartnell. Ooh, is just barely still a minor penalty. But Hartnell will be going off for holding. And that is at 3:20 of the third period. So now the Blackhawks with a golden opportunity to extend their lead. And we're going to, and since it is one of the forwards, we're going to go without that forward. Just to make my life a little bit easier. Then our next face-off, we're even, so it's going over to Boland on the power play. Passing it over to Campbell. Force dump in if center's defense is greater than or equal to 4. Richards is a 3. 12 on the power play. Campbell's going to give that one away. That will go over to Timonen. 17 minutes to play in the game. Oop. We'll stick with that. Passing it over to Coburn. Loose puck if the left wing's hit is greater than or equal to 8. Brouwer is a 6. Not happening there. On a 9 on shorthanded. That'll be a pass. He'll pass that over up to Asham. Asham with the puck now for the Flyers. Passing that over to Timonen since we have no left wing. Penalty if right wing penalty is greater than or equal to 2. Hossa is a 2. 26, that's going to get iced, so now we'll check Hossa's penalty. 6 plus minor if it's a major. Hossa is going off on a minor penalty, and he's going off. God bless it. We'll mix that in down there. He's going off for hooking. And that is at 3:20 of the third period. So this should be at 2:20. I'll get another marker so I can track Hosa's penalty. We'll use a yellow pawn to track Hosa's penalty. And now we're 4 on 4. We're 4 on 4 for another, looks like another minute. And then the Flyers go on the power play. So we've got another face-off coming, which is left wing, except there's no left wing for the visitors, so we'll flip again. Right wing home, also no right wing for the home team. Center home, okay, Boland's got the puck. Ticking off time, pass going over to Brouwer. Right wing takeaway, if the right wing take is greater than or equal to 6. Asham is a 3. Brouwer's getting that with a 36. He will make a pass. That'll go down to Campbell. Except now we're making line changes. Campbell will make his move with the puck momentarily. And we will shuffle that down here. And we'll flip over his move. Passing that up to Ladd. Takeaway if the right wing's take is greater than or equal to 2. La Liberty is a 2. So we'll tick that. We'll tick time off. The penalty to Hartnell's over. So now the Flyers are on the power play. So Flyers on the power play. Pass going over to Krajicek. Force dump in if the right D's defense is greater than or equal to 1. Barker's a 3. So we've got a dump in. We've got a dump in coming here. Dump in is a puck battle. Offensive center versus the defensive center +5. Giroux's a 5. Madden, the +5 is a 9. That gets him the puck. Taking off time. Passing over to Ladd. Takeaway if the right D's take is greater than or equal to 4. Bartulis is a 2. Number 18 at shorthanded. That's going to get iced. Ladd will send that the length of the ice. And Krajicek will track that down for the Flyers. 15 minutes to play. Passing that up to La Liberty. Takeaway if the lefties take is greater than or equal to 4. Campbell is only a 3. That's a 5. That'll be a shot 5 against Niemi. So a shot 5 with a 24. And that's in. As the Liberty gives the Flyers some life here in the third period. 5-3 in favor of the Blackhawks. Arena groans. Ugh. And that will be from Bartulis. And Bartulis already's got the assist, so nothing happening there. But it is 5-3 now in favor of the Blackhawks, as the penalty to Hosa is now over. And I'll leave that yellow pawn up there. So now the teams are coming back to center ice as we're getting ready for the face-off. +5 to the left defenseman. So we add that to Giroux. He's the lower player. So +5 is going to the left defenseman. That is Krajicek. He's got the puck, and now we're off. Passing it back up to Giroux. Takeaway if the center's take is greater than or equal to 3. Madden is a 4. He will take the puck away. 14:20 to play. Passing over to Campbell. Penalty if any defender's penalty is greater than or equal to 25. Everybody's clear on that. So a 19 for Campbell is going to be a pass. He'll move that over to Ladd. Except now we've got line changes. Hold on. If we're on Seabrook, we should be on Keith. We should have fourth lines out at this. Fourth lines and first defensive pairings out. Because everything got kind of jumbled up by the penalty. Alright, I'm just going to check this deck real quick just to make sure everything's flipped the way it should be. Because I'm getting a lot of cards flipped the wrong way. So timeout. So timeout while I check the deck. Fortunately, the sleeves I normally use have a the poker size sleeves I normally use have a watermark on them so I can tell which side is the back. Okay. And Chris Davis, the maker of Inside the Crease Hockey, wants you to use the number as the backside. So there's my watermark on my sleeves so you can tell which side is the back. So now we're just getting all of this sorted out. Okay, now we're set to go. Pass over to 𝐈𝐸. Force dump in if the right wing's defense is greater than or equal to 6. Nodal's a 3. So a 4 for 𝐈𝐸 is going to be a shot 3 against Layton. With a 19 on a shot 3, that's a rebound chance. Defensive right D. Carl will pick that one up. 13:40 to play. Passing over up to Carcillo. Penalty if the left wing penalty is greater than or equal to 7. Ladd is a 3. So a 35 for Carcillo is going to be a pass. And that'll move over, it'll move back to Carl. 13:20 to play. Passing it up to Nodal. Force dump in if the lefty's defense is greater than or equal to 4. Keith is a 6, so that'll get dumped in. And Keith will also chase the puck down. Taking off time, passing over to Seabrook. Penalty if the center penalty is greater than or equal to 6. Briere is a 4. 37 is an assist chance by Seabrook. He's setting up 𝐈𝐸 with a 3. Uh-oh. 3 on an assist. That's a shot 5 against Layton. And a 13 is a rebound, and Layton's hot. Rebound is offensive left wing versus defensive right D +3. Even without the +3, Carl will take that puck. And now Layton's gone hot. Pass up to Briere. Interception if left D and right D defense greater than or equal to 7. Keith and Seabrook are at 10, so Seabrook will make that interception. 12:20 to play. Passing over to the left defense. Penalty if any defender's penalty greater than or equal to 20. Carcillo's a 12, actually, so yeah, we have a penalty. We have a possible penalty there. But a number 1 at even strength will be a shot 5 for Keith. A number 2 against Layton. And Keith puts that one in, and Layton goes cold. As the Blackhawks get their 3-goal lead back. 6-3. As the arena cheers. Yay! Right. Okay, we're just going to flip over 2 cards for assists since I can't trace the play. Left wing, that'll be Ladd. And that was early. I think that was during the power play for the Flyers. Call that 3:40. Just making note of a goal. And Ladd gets the only assist on the play. So that was at 7:20 or 7:40. All right, teams are back at center ice for the face-off. Going to the right wing for the home team, so that's Versteeg, except now we've got line changes. Hold on. I got these out of order again. Bickle should be 4th line. Okay. There we are. Versteeg with the puck. Passing that over to Campbell. He'll get off the ice. Force dump in if the lefty's defense is greater than or equal to 7. Timonen is a 4. So Campbell's getting that with a 26. He will make a pass. And that'll go over to Hjalmarsson. Taking off time. Passing it up to Taves. Loose puck if the lefty's hit is greater than or equal to 2. Timonen's a 3. So we've got a hit. Loose puck is the offensive center. Taves will get that back anyway. Recovering there. Passing over to Campbell. Interception if the center and right wing's defense is greater than or equal to 12. Center and right wing. There are 6. 21 for Campbell. He's going to make a pass. And that'll go over to Hjalmarsson. Taking off time. Passing right back to Campbell. Force dump in if the right wing defense is greater than or equal to 8. LaPerriere is a 3. 2 is going to be a shot 2 against Leighton. That's a 6 on a shot 2. And that's in. As the Blackhawks are now extending their lead. Blackhawks now lead 7-3. Campbell with his first of the day. And we'll take an assist from Hjalmarsson. And we'll flip over another card to get an assist. And Sharp. And that is at 9:40 of the third period. As the Blackhawks did not come to play today, as the Blackhawks are not screwing around today. All right, next face-off as the teams come back to center ice. Is kicked out low. They're both tied, so nobody gets kicked out. And over to the right wing, home team wins. Kane wins the face-off. 10:40 to play. Passing over to Sharp. Takeaway if the left wing take is greater than or equal to 3. Gagne is a 4. He will take that puck away. 10:20 to play. Pass goes over to LaPerriere. Interception if left wing and lefty defense is greater than or equal to 5. Sharp and Campbell are a 6. So there will be an interception, and it will be Sharp making the interception. Just in time for a line change at the 10-minute mark of the third period. Okay, and we're off. Passing over to Hossa. Loose puck if the lefty's hit is greater than or equal to 8. Krajicek is a 2. Hossa's getting that with a 20. That'll be a shot 1 on Leighton. That's a 98. And that'll be dropped off for Richards. We'll come back and grab that one for the Flyers. 9:40 to play. Passing over to Hartnell. Interception if the right wing and right D defense greater than or equal to 12. There are 6. 17 for Hartnell is going to be a shot 0 against Niemi. With an 81 on a shot 0, Niemi is going to make the save, drop that off for the left wing. That'll be Sharp coming to grab that one. 9:20 to play. Passing over to the right wing, Hossa. Penalty if the left wing penalty is greater than or equal to 2. Hartnell's a 7. 15 is going to be a shot 2 against Leighton, though. That's a 74. Leighton will hold that one for the face-off, and Hartnell's going to the bin once again. Let's see what penalty Hartnell takes. A 35. Ooh, just barely misses a... Just barely into misconduct land. Actually, if it's greater than, I think he does take a misconduct. Let me check that. Within his minor and major. And no penalty if the number falls outside of the range. So 35 actually just barely misses that. So play is going to restart with a face-off. So 35 is just barely outside it. So we'll restart with another face-off. Face-offs are even. +2 to the left wing. Sharp wins the draw. 9 minutes to go. Passing over to Hossa. Loose puck if the right wing's hit is greater than or equal to 3. Asham's a 5, so there will be a loose puck. Offensive right defenseman versus defensive lefty +1. Because they're tied, goes right back to the home team. Barker with it for the Blackhawks, passing up to the center Boland. Loose puck if the center's hit is greater than or equal to 5. Richards is a 4, so no loose puck. 23 is a pass. That'll go over to Sharp. 8:20 to play. Passing over to Hossa. Force dump in if the left wing's defense is greater than or equal to 2. Hartnell is a 2, so we've got a dump in. Puck battle, offensive center versus defensive center. Richards wins that just in time for a line change. Richards with the puck for the Flyers, passing over to Van Riemsdyk, and Richards will get off the ice. Okay. Interception if the right wing and right D defense greater than or equal to 8. Bufflin and Seabrook just missed that at a 7. A 39 is an assist chance, actually. That's going over to Carl. Assist chance with a 12. That's a shot 2 against Niemi. On a 58, though, that's not likely to be anything. That'll get stopped and held for a face-off as Niemi gets his glove on it. 8 minutes to play here in the third period. A 4-goal lead for the Blackhawks. Get a face-off going on here. Left wing, that's over to Brouwer as Madden's got the higher face-off, and we're off. Passing over to Keith. Loose puck if the right wing's hit is greater than or equal to 8. La Liberté is a 4. Keith is getting that with a 7. That'll be a shot 1 against Layton. 33 is a rebound chance. Visiting right defenseman. Carl will pick that one up, as I try not to send the cards flying. 7:40 to go in the game. Passing that up to La Liberté. Takeaway if the lefty's take is greater than or equal to 1. Keith is a 3, so he will take that puck away. 7:20 to play. Passing over to the right wing up to Bufflin. Interception of the center and right wing's defense greater than or equal to 7. They're a 4. Bufflin gets that with a 30. He's going to make a pass. That'll go over to Brouwer. 7 minutes to go. Passing over to Seabrook. Takeaway if the lefty's take is greater than or equal to 3. Pronger is a 3. 6:40 to play. Passing up to the right wing up to La Liberté. Interception if the center and right wing defense is greater than or equal to 6. Madden and Bufflin are a 6. They will make it. And that will be Bufflin making the interception. 6:20 to play. Passing over to Brouwer. Takeaway if the right wing's take is greater than or equal to 3. La Liberté is a 2. A 24. That's going to be a pass. And that'll go over to Madden. We'll bring the other deck in. I'm going to time out while I check that real quick, just to make sure everything there is on the right side. Then once I check that, I'll give it a shuffle, and we'll make our line changes, and then we'll be off again. Because we just ticked down to 6 minutes remaining in the game. Okay, we are all good there. So I'm going to give this a quick shuffle. And then we will be back with line changes as Madden's got the puck for the Blackhawks. All right, this deck can leave shot. And now line changes. All right. And we're off. Timon. Passing over to Ladd will make the last line change. Loose puck if the right D's hit is greater than or equal to 8. Coburn's a 4. 35 for Ladd is going to be a pass. He'll pass that over to 𝐈𝐸𝐵. 5:40 to play. Passing over to Hjalmarsson. Takeaway if the left wing's take is greater than or equal to 7. Carcillo's a 3. A 16 for Hjalmarsson is going to be a pass. He'll move that up to Versteeg. 5:20 to play in the game. Passing right back to Hjalmarsson. Interception if the center... if the center and left wing... Hang on. Okay, let's try this again. Interception if center and left wing defense greater than or equal to 8. They're a 4. 14 for Hjalmarsson is going to be another pass. And that's moving up to 𝐈𝐸𝐵. 5 minutes to play. Passing over to Ladd. Interception if the left D and right D defense greater than or equal to 12. They're an 8. Ladd with a 25 will make another pass. He'll move that over to Campbell. 4:40 to play. Passing over to Hjalmarsson. Forced dump in if the center defense greater than or equal to 5. Briere is a 2. 28 is going to be another pass. And that'll move back to Campbell. 4:20 to play. Passing back to Hjalmarsson. Interception of center and left wing defense greater than or equal to 6. Briere and Carcillo are a 4. Hjalmarsson with a 6. He's going to give that one away. That'll go over to Briere. Except it won't be Briere for long because we've got line changes. Sometimes these cards like to stick together, which is a little bit annoying and kind of throws my lines off sometimes. That is the one thing I'll say about these cards from Inside Sports. Briere is not making his change yet, but he will be momentarily. After he passes that over to LaPerriere. Excuse me. Loose puck if the left wing's hit is greater than or equal to 1. Sharp is a 1, so we've got a hit. And the loose puck is offensive right wing plus 4 versus defensive left D. So LaPerriere will keep the puck. Ticking down time as the clock's running out on the Flyers. Passing it over to the center. Loose puck if left D hit is greater than or equal to 5. Sopel's a 3. 35 is going to be a shot 0 against Niemi. 72. Niemi is going to make the save, and he'll stop that, and he'll cover that one for the face-off. 3:40 to play, so odds are we're not going to bother about the pulling the goalie. Actually, just a quick mention of that, you can only pull the goalie when you're at 120 left of the game, and I believe there's a deficit rule with that as well. I believe you can only be down by like 1 or 2. Only within the last minute 20. Okay. So yeah, it wouldn't make much sense for the Flyers to pull the goalie here. Alright, so we've got another face-off coming. But what I will say about pulling the goalie is the team that's got the extra attacker on uses their power play section, and the team that doesn't is using the team that still has their goalie in is using the shorthanded section. So let's get a face-off. And that will be, we're tied, so left defenseman for the visitors, so Krajicek with the puck. Ticking off time, passing it up to LaPerriere. Interception of left wing and left D defense greater than or equal to 11. They're a 7, a 37 for LaPerriere. He's going to make an assist pass, setting up Krajicek with a 28. And that's going to be a shot 0 against Niemi. With a 38, Niemi will stop that one for the face-off. Must have taken a funny bounce. And Niemi was able to get a hold of it, and he stops it for the face-off. Flipping over for a new face-off. Visitor gets kicked out. So Carter gets kicked out, and Gagne will take the draw against Taves. That'll go over to Sharp, as he's the higher one. Ticking off time. Passing that over to right defense. Penalty if any defender penalty is greater than or equal to 16. And we see LaPerriere is a 25, so he will take the penalty. And a 36 for Barker is a pass, so we'll check the penalty on 𝐷𝐴𝐴𝐴. 18 plus opponent if penalty 2 or higher. Kane is a 1, so he's not going off. So 𝐷𝐴𝐴𝐴 as an 18. Ooh, an 18, he takes a major penalty. Ouch. And he's going off for a boarding penalty. That's a huge blow. And that is at 17:40. So now the difference for major penalties is goals don't end the power play. So that is a very ugly. That was an ugly hit. That was an ugly hit on Barker. And the Flyers are on the power play now for the rest of the game. So I'll use that to mark that fact. Face-off will come back to the left of Leighton. And we are just about set to go, so let's drop the puck. Going over to center for the home team, so that's Toews with it. 2:40 to play. Passing over to Kane. Takeaway if the right D's take is greater than or equal to 6. Bartulis is a 2. An 18 on the power play is going to be a shot 4 by Kane. An 87 on a shot 4. That's going to get dropped off. And that'll be 𝐈𝐸𝐵 chasing that one down for the Flyers. 2:20 to play. Passing, 𝐈𝐸𝐵 will hold that himself. Loose puck if the left wing's hit is greater than or equal to 2. Sharp is a 2. So we've got a loose puck. Loose puck is the home center. Toews will track that one down just in time for the line change. Normally I change out the penalized player as well, but as this is a major penalty, I'm not going to bother because the Flyers will be shorthanded for the rest of the game unless the Blackhawks take a penalty of their own. Toews with the puck, passing, he's passing it over to Hossa. Loose puck if the right D's hit is greater than or equal to 6. Carl is a 2. Hossa's got that with an 11 on the power play. That'll be a shot 4 on Leighton. 55 on a shot 4. Leighton will hold that one for the face-off. Blackhawks are starting to mount some pressure here. As we drop the puck again, center, home team wins ties, so that's Boland. 1:40 to play in the game. Passing that back to Hossa. Forced dump in if the left wing defense is greater than or equal to 6. Hartnell's a 2. Hossa with a 33 on the power play. He'll give that away. He'll give that away to Richards. 1:20 to play, which is now when the Flyers could pull a goalie, but down 4, they're not going to bother. Passing that over to Carl. Forced dump in if the left wing's defense is greater than or equal to 7. Brower's a 3. A 9 shorthanded. That's going to get sent the length of the ice. And Boland will track that one down. 1 minute to play in the game. Passing that over to Keith. Takeaway if the center's take is greater than or equal to 6. Richards is a 3. 16 on the power play. That's a shot 0 against Leighton. 78. That'll get dropped off for Pronger. 40 seconds left. Passing that up to Hartnell. Takeaway if the right wing's take is greater than or equal to 5. Host is a 4. 38 is going to get sent the length of the ice by Hartnell. And that will be Seabrook tracking that down. 20 last play of the game. Passing up to Boland. Penalty if the right D's penalty is greater than or equal to 6. It's not. 38's an assist chance on the power play. He's setting up Brower with a 38. That'll be a shot 3 against Leighton. An 86 on a shot 3. That'll get dropped off for the left defenseman. That'll be Pronger picking that one up. But that's the horn for the end of the game. And the Chicago Blackhawks win the inside the crease demo game by a final score of 7-3. So hopefully that helped you guys make a bit more sense of inside the crease hockey. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments section down below, and I'll answer them as I have the chance to. I'm hoping later tonight to have the demo game for Stratomatic hockey. We'll be right back here at the United Center with the same 2 teams. As for tomorrow morning, we're going to have a new debut game on the channel, as Tomorrow in history, 1941, we had the start of Operation Barbarossa, where Nazi Germany invaded the Soviet Union. To commemorate the occasion, we are going to be playing Storm of Steel, Ju-87 Stuka by Compass Games. I'm not sure exactly what we're doing tomorrow afternoon. All I know so far is that my Sunday game day has fallen apart, so I expect I'll be playing at least one more game on the channel tomorrow. As for what's scheduled on the channel, Monday will feature our latest episode of Metal Gear Mondays, as we're getting ready for the fight against Psycho Mantis. And Saturday next week, Mystical Munchies will conclude out of the World of Warcraft New Flavors of Azeroth cookbook as we make the dessert, Balara's Nutter Bar. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone. The Chicago Blackhawks win the first demo game of this 2009-10 hockey season replay by a final score of 7-3. Once again, take care, and hopefully I'll see you guys later tonight for the Strat demo game.